You're listening to the Sports Bar on talkSPORT. Me, O'Hara Jason Cundy. Still to come, we're going to be discussing whether Virgil van Dijk is better than John Terry. After our chat last night on the Sports Bar with Jermaine Pennant, it's blew up on social media. Wow! Couldn't believe it when I woke up this morning. You can have your say on that. Cundy's going to have his after 11, 03, 7,
You know what I'm going to say.
22, 33, 44. It's a conversation we've had before, so we know what's going to happen. But maybe, we give a fairer argument. But first, Arsenal winger Bukayo Saka has signed a new 5-year contract at the club, reported 300 grand a week. Saka's previous deal was due to expire in 2027. He's now committed his future to the Gunners till 2031. Gabby Bonho was on Drive this afternoon, said that Saka has been nowhere near his best this season.
100%, but can we not look at as well, Bukayo Saka, 217 Premier League appearances, 24 Champions League appearances, and he's only 24 still. How much football has he played since he broke into the Arsenal team? Is he a bit tired at times? Has Madueke coming into the Arsenal squad helped as well? I think it will eventually. Is 4 goals enough in 22 Premier League appearances? No, it's not for his levels. But when he's on it, he terrorises defenders. And sometimes you can terrorise defenders, Andy, and you don't get the assist or you don't get the goal. But you've got 2 players drawn to you that create space for a Martinelli or an Odegaard or a Gyökeres.
That was obviously Gabby speaking there. He signed a new deal. He's a massive football player at Arsenal. He's been an important part, an integral part of Arteta's team build that he's put together. Is he the best winger at Arsenal right now?
Well, that conversation can be had between Gooners, right? His levels have dipped. There is no doubt about that. He's not as influential. He's 24 years of age. His contract expires in about 20 months, 18 months, a bit longer than 18 months, about 21, 22 months, something like that. And I think it's important that they... So when is it? When is it? Into 2027? So it's just over 18 months, right? His contract expires.
We just signed a new deal.
But that's what I'm saying is they don't want to find themselves in a Trent situation.
Right, yeah.
Where they allow the contract to run down into his final year.
Yeah.
That's the right thing to do.
It's expiring in 2027.
Right, that's the right thing to do. Yeah. Get that contract sorted out now. You don't want the player becoming in such a strong position that he then calls all the shots.
Yeah.
It's the right thing to do. And because of his age and because how good he is, there's no one going to complain about the contract at all, length of the contract. What I think should, not concern, but I think what he needs to now do is up his output. I think his output has dropped. And what we've seen with the introduction of Noni Madueke and Eze, there's players in certain positions, certainly where they didn't have a couple of seasons ago, certainly not last year, where there's strength in depth. So when he came out the side, it felt like there was a noticeable dip in attacking strength about the way they played. But I think there's definitely an argument to be said that he, in a World Cup year, where I would say before he was a nailed-on, guaranteed, 100% starter out wide right for Thomas Tuchel, I think there can be a conversation where there shouldn't be.
Do you believe it's a conversation up for debate? Well, Madueke, obviously, but Madueke's not on. Madueke's not the level of Saka.
No, he's not. But this season, I don't think you can say that Saka's not been the level of Saka. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair statement. He's not been as devastating, and I think there's been mitigating reasons for that. Gabby just said there's a lot of miles on the clock, and I remember a couple of seasons ago, you and I doing a show, and the Arsenal fans phoning up, criticising Arteta for playing him in games or leaving it on in games that actually he didn't need to be playing in.
Yeah.
And then eventually the hamstring went.
Yeah.
And Gunas phoned us up saying, Arteta's got to take this. This is on him.
Yeah.
He's played him too many times. And I think there was an over-reliant because there was no strength in depth. There was no wide player that could come in and play for him. Well, now they've got that. Look, Noni is not as good a player as Saka. That's an absolute certainty. But this season, I don't think Saka's been any better than Noni at all. And I think that going into a World Cup year, I'm not saying that Thomas Tuchel will start Noni over him, but Arsenal's best side at the moment, I think that's a debate for Gunas to have. And I'd love to hear their debate.
What about?
I don't think it's nailed on.
What about in terms of Premier League? He signed a new deal. He's on 300 grand a week. Yeah. Does he play? Does he start for Chelsea?
I don't have Estevao. All right, this season, no chance. His numbers, Estevao's numbers for the minutes he's played
are
ridiculous.
General, though?
No.
You think Estevao's a better player than Saka?
Well, you can only go by what we've seen. Estevão only rocked up this season.
Yeah.
I've only seen Estevão in a Chelsea shirt since August. Mate, there's no debate. It's been
if you could have one player out of them two, you'd take Estevão.
Yes, 100%. On the evidence I've seen. Look, Saka puts up ridiculous numbers. And he's a brilliant player. But this season, what I've seen in Estevão in the Premier League, no one can throw Saka at me this season.
No, okay. I know this season maybe but you've seen Estevão for 6 months. You've seen Saka for 4 years. Yeah. Based on the best of Saka and the best of Estevão so far, we know Estevao's a superstar. I get that. You can't say Saka's not better than Estevão. The evidence is there. Sure, we're talking.
Why doesn't he show it then? This season, why hasn't he shown it?
Well, as you said, miles on the clock, playing in a certain system. He's picked up injuries.
Look, Saka
Estevao's come in, he's burst onto the scene. But I watched Estevão against Leeds, mate, away. He was woeful. I've seen him dragged twice at half-time, Estevão.
He's 18.
No, I know. I get
18. It's not 19 till next month.
No. I'm taking nothing away from Estevão. I get it. But come on.
No, I'm not coming on. No, I tell you what, you come on. This season, you can't argue with me. You come on. You can't. Look, Saka, anyone that says to me, big fan of Saka, huge fan, think the boy is top draw and will go on to be an Arsenal legend. There's no doubt about that. But you give me the evidence in the last 10 months that shows me anything different. Estevão you'd rather have Saka over Estevão this year? No chance. Absolutely no chance. If Estevão is English, he starts ahead of Saka in the World Cup.
I've got some stats for you. Estevão this season in all comps, he's played 30 games, 7 goals, 2 assists. Saka this season, 33 appearances, 7 goals, 7 assists.
Yeah, but Saka, see Estevão, okay, how many started there? Estevão doesn't start games. He hardly starts. Comes off the bench to impact. Doesn't start to impact.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the difference. But look, I'll have that debate, but don't even think about telling me that this season Saka's been better than Estevão. Don't at me. That argument ain't standing up.
Since the start of 2021-22 campaign, only Mohamed Salah, Haaland and Ollie Watkins have contributed to more goal involvement.
No, the boys are class act. The boys are class act. If I'm Thomas Tuchel and I'm watching Saka this season, I think I'm a little disappointed that I've not seen the Saka that was 12, 18 months ago going into this World Cup.